This will be a demonstration of the Quickdraw Weaving program's Weft Editor when we're operating in multi-treadle and or lift plan. If I look briefly at the current Weft Editor, I've got 7 standard tools here. And when I select a treadle, it will change the treadle to match. On the other hand, when I switch to a multi-treadle mode and come back, when I click, it will now add treadles, or hitting again will delete them. So it changes the way the rules are operating. It also has eliminated the trompe as written turn draft option since those no longer apply. When I go further, if I go back to the setup screen, convert that to a lift plan, and come back, the tie-up is gone. The lift plan editor works about the same, and I've now actually lost the toggle tie-up since I no longer have a tie-up. Now, the one other peculiar thing that happens in a lift plan edit, I actually have a small lift plan here. This is done in Paint. And if I copy that, when I come back in, select the lift plan, I'm going to do a Control-V as a paste command. It has now pasted that lift plan in on top of the pattern that was there. And that gives me the general functionality of lift plan and multi-treadle editing. Thank you. Okay, this will be an update to the Quickdraw Weaving program, the Weft Editor's functions, specifically in multi-treadle. Let me start with the basic here. You'll notice if I grab a couple of threads and let go, it will automatically select the entire thread. Now I can, if I want to, if I enable shifting, I can now actually grab selected threads and move them around. The other thing that can also happen, if I do multi-treadle, the same rules kind of will now apply. Is let me go back in and ask for, say, 16 by 16 to play with. So I've now can actually, if I grab that, so I've now got a 5 by 5, so I've got a little arrow in here, I can tell what's going on. And if I ask to paste that guy, I can paste that, for example. I can start here, and as I drag down, it's going to duplicate that pattern. And if I drag it again, it's going to move another copy of it over here. And you'll notice when I copy it, the point of the arrow is up left. I move to the right of where I started. It's reverse directions. You go down and to the right similarly. So I can actually reverse that pattern if I want to. The symmetrics would automatically reverse that on the odd patterns. So that's what those guys do in there. The other thing that also will then do is if I select an area, the arrow keys will rotate just within the selection, whichever direction I want to go. The reverse and invert also operate only within the selected area and the toggle function. So that really is the update to that gives me a little bit more control over exactly what I'm doing in a multi-treadle environment. Thank you. Okay, this will be an update on the Weft Editor for Quickdraw version 5.6. Now in the past I've had the ability to do add tabbies and where I wanted to do the tabbies. I've been able to do a remove which would take out every other thread. What I just added was a delete tabby and a hide tabby, which are a little bit smarter than the remove in that they will look through my structure and find the tabby, and even if it's just tabby with no pattern shots, it will find that and remove those guys. And for frame of reference, if I ask for the thread sizes, I've now got all the tabby, all the threads are the same size, the pattern is very tall and thin. If I go back in and ask for a hide tabby, it's going to do what I had when I started there. It will automatically find the tabby, set the tabby shots to 20% of the pattern shots, so that my overall pattern is a little bit higher. It's about 125% of the warp spacing. And if I want to delete them entirely, if I do the delete tabby, it then just deletes all those threads, and then I would have to go back in and add the tabby. So that gives me the ability to identify and to delete the tabby entirely, or just hide the tabby and change the aspect ratio on the thread sizes so it's a little bit easier to see and understand.